So in this video, we're going to talk about what inspires someone who's shown up as avoidant to reach out to you after you've been in separation, after there's been a breakup, even if that breakup was really bad, even if it felt like their feelings just disappeared, because I know how horrible it is to break up with someone who's shown up as avoidant, because like I've said in other videos, it can really feel like they just got on with their lives and they're fine while you're really struggling to process what was an enormous investment of your time, love and energy. So it can feel very, very defeating when someone like this leaves your life, because they appear to have kind of got off the hook with the emotional kind of roller coaster that you're on, and you're there feeling, processing, which by the way is an amazing thing and actually really helps you to process these situations in the long run, whereas avoidants are more likely to feel the after effects of it much later on when the intensity of the situation has died down. So I have seen this happen over and over and over and over again, where there's a breakup and you're really, really, really upset, and you might be upset for months. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it can take ages for you to actually come to terms with and process a breakup like that and deal with the grief and the feelings that come up, like wanting closure and not being able to get it because they seem to have just disappeared off the face of the earth. That's really, really uncomfortable. But when you actually start taking your life into your own hands and you really start going, right, screw it. Like, I'm actually not going to find the answers by thinking about them and trying to find them in my head and talking about them to everyone and looking at videos online. And I'm going to really take all my focus off this person, finally. And I'm really going to actually invest in myself. I'm going to get the healthiest I've ever been. I'm going to get the strongest I've ever been. I'm going to be the most creative I've ever been. And you really pour all that love that you were giving to them into yourself. Right, this is the first thing. So your focus is diverted back to you, which is one of the things that people really struggle with to do in relationship with someone who's avoidant, because there's so much uncertainty. And this is one of the things that really can make a secure person fall into more of an anxious attachment style when they're with an avoidant, because humans don't like uncertainty. We don't like uncertainty. It makes us feel unsettled if there is too much of it. So we need some uncertainty, don't we? Because otherwise life would be really boring. And Tony Robbins says this, doesn't he? He says that we need a certain amount of uncertainty in our life. And then we also need certainty, because certainty gives us kind of stability and makes us feel secure. There's a certain level of predictability to our lives, which is so important in relationships. And then uncertainty actually keeps our life interesting. You know, if you went to a movie and the only movie that was available was one that you'd seen many times, it'd be very, very boring because you'd just be able to predict the ending. And it's the same with our lives as well. We need a level of uncertainty, which for some people can make the avoidance very addictive. I don't know if you've ever thought of it like that, but you might be someone who actually likes uncertainty and in some way is addicted to the kind of highs and lows of the uncertainty. So that can create a kind of need for the push and pull and the what's going to happen next and the drama of it. I often speak to clients and it's like the EastEnders theme tune. I don't know if you have that in your country, but we have a very, very famous soap opera in the UK called EastEnders. That's the theme tune, and it's like every time I speak to people I'm like, what's happened now? Go on, tell me. And it can be really addictive because it's like, what's this person going to do next? What unpredictable behavior are they going to bring into your life? And if you think about it, it's like, okay, in some way, are you getting something out of that? Are you actually getting something out of it? And it's a really good question to ask yourself. And I ask this to my clients all the time. When something is unwanted, but yet persists, you have to ask yourself what you are getting out of it. Yeah. So by investing in someone who is hot and cold, yes and no, mean to you even, what are you getting out of it? There might be something that you're unconsciously that is meeting a need for you. And so that's a question that you can kind of journal on and sit with because it's different for everybody. But essentially, I've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent, but we need uncertainty and we need certainty. So this is why we need both of those things in a relationship in order for us to feel stable, interested. But when there is too much uncertainty, it can make us feel very unsettled and very anxious. So when we actually give ourselves more of that certainty, we give ourselves more predictability in our life by creating structure, by seeing friends, by talking to people we know how they're going to respond to us. We know that they've got our back. We spend time around people that we can trust their moods, and we can trust their feelings, and we can trust that they are going to show up in a particular way for us, which is not what happened with the avoidant. And you start to really regulate your nervous system, and when you feel regulated, honestly, you will glow. You will start glowing. Your energy will start glowing. Everybody will start noticing, what happened? What happened to you? You seem different. Something's different about you. You seem happier. You seem like you're living your best life, as people say. And it really does. It create a massive effect on the way that you feel and seem to people, even from afar, even over the internet, which I know is kind of like, a bit of a show, really, isn't it? That social media is a very difficult thing to kind of judge how someone is doing in, but very often your energy will be different even there. Even if people question it, is this real? I don't know what's going on, but there'll be something different. And I'm not saying that you should go and post your whole life in the hope that your avoidant will see it, because that can become addictive, and then you're obsessing with, have they watched my story? How many of you have done that? Stop it. Stop it. Stop doing the checking to see if they've watched your story, because that is you obsessing about them, not them obsessing about you. Okay, so stop that. For your own mental health, for your own sanity, this is part of the glow up that you need. You take all the focus off them and you put it back on you, and you post things for you, not for them. You share things that you want everyone to see, that you're proud of, not just them. You're not trying to get their attention. You're not trying to find out about them, about what they're doing. You've given up that quest because you know that it is a rabbit hole going round and round and round and round and round, only getting you to a dead end. So you stop doing that because you've realised that actually your actual glow up is going to be when you focus on you, and you might have been neglecting yourself. And this is what a lot of people do with avoidance. There's so much curiosity, there is so much uncertainty, that you become very, very curious about who they are, why they are the way they are, and you become so hyper attuned to their moods, their feelings, their needs, and their past, their history. Why are they like this? That it becomes like a mission to solve the puzzle, and only they can do that. That's not your job. And the thing is that by trying to do it, as much as you might have the best intention in the world and really a lot of empathy and love for this person, and you want to be that person that really gets them and understands them, you are already that person. You don't need to try any harder to do that. It's just that whenever you're doing that too much, you start neglecting yourself, and you kind of really engrave that belief into your nervous system that you have to try really hard to be loved, that you have to be the fixer, the people pleaser, the one that overgives, overloves. And that is going to create so many cycles of disappointment until you stop doing it and you actually just show up authentically. Because the thing that people pleasers don't realize is that it's actually really inauthentic, because it is actually an attempt to get something from the other person, and that's not love. So you've got to think about you've got to think about your motives. You've got to learn about you and heal this need for their attention, need for their approval, need for their love. Like, where's that coming from? Explore it with a coach or with a therapist. Release that, free yourself from that. And when you do that, honestly, I've seen it over and over and over again. They become curious. They're like, what happened? Even though I can't see this person, even though I haven't spoken to this person, I'm interested in what this different energy is. I mean, I swear it like emanates across countries and across the globe when you experience this shift within yourself where you're actually focusing on you. Also, I should say, in this time, don't contact them. Do not reach out. That's another thing that is so important. I will do another video on no contact and why that is such an important part of your healing process. But essentially, if you were thinking about reaching out to this person and you were going to share how you're sorry that you think you made them feel like that, and you know you love them no matter what and you're always there for them, don't do that. They know, and you're only doing it for you. You're actually not doing it for them. You're doing it to kind of get something to soothe your anxiety. And actually, there's another way, a more profound way that you can more sustainably soothe your anxiety, which is validating and loving yourself so that you don't need their approval. Because essentially, those messages that you might be sending them of checking in and trying to get that reconnection is a way for you to soothe the nervous system response that has kept you in this cycle for so long. So whenever you go into a breakup situation or a no contact situation, it's an amazing opportunity for you to actually challenge that pattern and overcome something huge within yourself. So highly recommend, if you're thinking about reaching out, just really ask yourself, why am I doing this? And how would I feel if they don't respond? And how would I feel if they don't respond the way that I want them to? And essentially, my rule with reaching out to someone is, if you have to think about it for too long, don't do it. If it happens really naturally and you're just like, screw it, I'm just going to send this, I don't care. I literally don't care about the response. I'm just whatever. Then that's different. That's like a kind of inspired action, and no one can tell you when those things are going to come. But essentially, if you're thinking about it too much, I highly recommend not doing it, because very often you go, oh no, why did I send that? I need to take it back. So, in summary, an avoidant is very likely to reach out to you after a period of time of seeing that you're actually not reaching out to them, that you are really focusing on yourself, and that your energy just feels different, because it is different, not because you're faking it, not because you've kind of like showcased the external you. You're actually really feeling different. You've released a lot of the need for them to reach out to you, and you're kind of like, I'm free. If they reach out, they reach out. If they don't, they don't. I don't really care. And you really have worked on the attachment. That's what's so important about this time, is that you're actually really working on, why do I need this person's approval so much? What's that about? Because there is so many people on the planet, right? But there's something interesting about the familiarity that you've picked out with this person that needs to be explored for you to be able to release it, validate that part of you and integrate it so that you can feel whole and complete. And therefore, when you feel like that, you won't need to hear from them so much, honestly. And then it becomes a win-win situation. So when they do reach out, you have to be really careful, because they'll probably find some kind of really subtle non-event reason to reach out, like, oh, by the way, I saw this thing and it reminded me of you, or something about something completely irrelevant. Like, very often avoidance will not send you a big emotional message. They'll send you something really like an avoidant type message, which is not about anything in particular. And also, well, occasionally they can send you a message like, I really miss you and I'm really sorry, when there's nothing at stake, when they're not trying to get back with you, and they're also just like reminiscing and feeling regretful about how they treated you. But they're also, one time one of my exes sent me a message when he was about to leave the country, and it was like, you know, I know this is a really bad time to say it, but I really miss you. And it was a really bad time to say it, because he couldn't do anything about it. So what was the point? You know, it was kind of just like a little interruption in my life. And I think he was just trying to see where I was at, and if I was still going to chase him, if I was going to say, oh, I miss you too. So I decided not to reply on that occasion. So I think, it's really important that you really check in with how you feel with the message that they might send you. And you're curious, you know, you can be curious about where they're at. Like, have they done any work on themselves? Is anything any different? Let's find out. Let's see what they do. Let them lead the way. You don't need to lead the way. No more fixing, people pleasing, trying to work this out. It is over to them after everything that's happened. So I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like some help processing a breakup, if you would like some help navigating the challenges of how someone avoidant might be being in your life right now and how you can respond, what the best thing to do, to say is, I'm really good at helping people navigate those challenges and difficult conversations. We've also got a 2-week holiday support group which is starting on the 23rd, and it is for everybody who would like some extra support and love over the holiday season. We're going to have so much fun. You're going to feel way less alone. You're going to feel supported, and it's just going to be a really nice space for you to meet people who are going through a similar thing to you. And we're going to manifest for the year ahead. You're going to go into the 2025 feeling really inspired and ready to really have that glow up that I'm talking about, and it's going to be amazing. So I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like any more information about what I do, one-to-one coaching, I've got lots of options on my website, and I'll see you in the next video.